The cold lights flickered softly in the small, windowless room. The walls were made of dark metal, smooth and unyielding. There was no decoration, no warmth, only a single chair in the middle of the room, facing a large, translucent screen. The air smelled faintly of ozone and metal. The sound of distant engines hummed through the thick walls of the alien spaceship. A man sat quietly in the chair. His uniform was torn and dirty. His face was tired but calm. His name was Corporal James Riker. He was a soldier from Earth, captured during a brutal battle on the planet Viridian. Despite the many hours of imprisonment, his eyes burned with a silent fire. Across from him, standing tall and imposing, was the alien who called himself General Zurok. His skin was a pale blue-green, and his eyes were large and black like polished stones. He wore armor made from a strange, shimmering metal. Zurok's expression was cold but curious. "You are from Earth," Zurok said in a deep, steady voice. His words echoed in the quiet room. "We have studied your species for many cycles. You are curious creatures. But there is one thing I do not understand." James looked up, his jaw tight. "What is that? Why do you blink so often?" The general's eyes narrowed. "Your eyes close and open again in a rapid, useless movement. You waste precious time." James blinked slowly. Once, then twice. His face showed no fear, only a hint of amusement. Zurok stepped closer. "It makes no sense. On a battlefield, every second counts. Why do you close your eyes? It is a weakness." James leaned forward slightly. "Maybe you don't understand. Blinking, maybe it's not what you think." The general's lips curled into something close to a sneer. "Explain." James's lips moved carefully. "We blink to reload our eyes." Zurok stared, surprised by the answer. "Reload? Your eyes? Our weapons?" The soldier smiled faintly, but said nothing more. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered and went dim for a moment. The hum of engines grew louder and then softer. One of the alien guards standing outside the room collapsed without warning. The door to the interrogation room slid shut with a sharp hiss. "Stand down!" Zurok barked. The other guards rushed in, but James remained calm. "What did you do?" Zurok asked, his voice low but tense. James met the general's gaze. "I blinked, just like I said." The room fell silent again, filled with the tension of an unspoken battle. The story of James Riker was well known among human soldiers. He was part of an elite unit sent to Viridian to stop the alien invasion, but the mission had failed. Most of his team had been killed or captured. James was the only one left alive, but James was different from other soldiers. He had trained for years in an ancient human technique, a secret passed down from generations long before modern weapons. This technique taught that blinking was not a simple reflex, but a powerful tool. A weapon hidden in plain sight. The aliens did not know this. They saw blinking as a weakness, a sign of fear or distraction. But humans used blinking to sharpen their senses, to reset their vision, and to prepare for the moment when they must act. Zurok paced back and forth. He could not shake the feeling that the soldier was hiding something. Something dangerous. "Tell me more," he demanded. "How can blinking be a weapon? It makes no sense." James leaned back in the chair, tired but alert. "When you blink, you clear your eyes. You remove dust, tears, and fatigue. But more than that, when you blink in battle, you prepare your mind and body for the next move. It's like pressing a reset button." The general frowned. "So blinking is a way to rest?" "No," James said firmly. "It is a way to focus. When we blink, we take control. We do not lose time. We gain it." Zurok shook his head, frustrated. "Your species is strange." James smiled. "Maybe, but strange is powerful." The room was silent except for the soft beep of the alien equipment monitoring James's vital signs. Suddenly, the doors slid open. Again, Two alien scientists entered, carrying strange devices that glowed with blue light. Zuruk turned to them. "Test the soldier. Find out what makes his blinking so special." The scientists nodded and began their work. They placed small scanners near James's eyes and connected wires to his temples. James closed his eyes slowly. He blinked once. The machines whirred softly. The scientists' faces changed from curiosity to alarm. "What is happening?" "Zuruk," the lead scientist said in a trembling voice. His blinking triggers strange energy pulses. "We detect bursts of power in his brain and eyes. It is unlike anything we have seen." Zuruk stepped closer. "Can you explain?" The scientist shook his head. "We need more time." James opened his eyes, which now seemed sharper and brighter. He spoke quietly. "I told you. Blinking is not just a reflex, it's a weapon." For the first time, Zuruk felt a chill. This soldier was more dangerous than he had believed. He looked at James with new respect and fear. "Perhaps," the general said slowly, "we have underestimated the humans." The soldier smiled faintly. "You are not the first." Outside, the interrogation room, the ship's corridors were tense. Guards whispered in the shadows. The strange power inside James. Riker was spreading rumors like wildfire. The humans who had been captured whispered of a secret ability, something hidden. In the blink of an eye, back on Earth, the military command waited anxiously. James's last message before capture had been strange, a pattern of blinking sent as a signal. They knew he was not just a soldier. He was a weapon designed to survive, to fight, and to win. In the small room, the lights flickered once more. James blinked slowly. General Zuruk stared into those eyes. The war was far from over. And in every blink, a new battle was waiting to begin. General Zuruk had seen many strange things during his long years in command. He had fought insectoid hive minds that dissolved planets, battled silent machines in deep space, and crushed resistance on moons that never saw sunlight. But never, in all his campaigns, had he met a soldier like the human named James Riker. The general stood in his private command room, staring at a large holographic display. Dozens of video feeds played before him, battlefield footage, prison surveillance, brain scans. All focused on one man, Corporal James Riker. The human was quiet, calculated, but it was his eyes that disturbed Zuruk the most. The blinking dot had seemed ordinary at first. All humans blink, but Riker's pattern wasn't random. It was sharp, timed. Like a code.zurok rewound a clip from the interrogation room. Blink. 3 seconds. Blink. Blink again. He slowed the feed to 10% speed. That's when he saw it. Between the blinks, Riker's pupils shifted ever so slightly. Not just tracking movement, but targeting. Like a machine scanning for weak points, Zuruk clenched his jaw. "Computer," he ordered, "cross-reference blinking frequency from human soldier with known battlefield activity." The AI voice responded at once. "Match found. Human units with higher blink frequency show increased accuracy, faster response time, and elevated survival rates." Define elevated. Blinking soldiers survive 38% longer in direct conflict than average units. Zuruk's fingers curled into a fist. It wasn't just Riker. This was a pattern. A strategy. A weapon. He turned to the console and called up a file. Human Psychology Military Applications. Expand section. Visual Perception. He commanded. A paragraph appeared. Human soldiers trained in Tactical Vision Reflex, TVR. Use controlled blinking to improve focus, calculate ballistic paths, and activate neurological combat memory. Studies suggest advanced soldiers may even blink, in sync with enemy movements, predicting attacks milliseconds before impact. Zurok, read the line again. Predicting attacks by blinking? He muttered under his breath. Impossible. But the data didn't lie. A soft chime rang through the room. A message from the science wing.zurok opened it. Subject number 209, James Riker. Activated encrypted ocular signal during last blink sequence. We believe it was not random. Possible transmission. Zurok's eyes widened. Transmission? To whom? We are still analyzing. The blink pattern matches no alien language, but we suspect it may be coded for human AI systems. Zurok slammed his fist into the console. He's signaling Earth. The general stormed down the hall, boots thudding heavily on the steel floor. Guards stood at attention as he passed, giving him a wide berth. He arrived outside the prisoner cell, smaller than the interrogation chamber, darker. James Riker sat cross-legged on the floor, eyes closed. Zurok entered. The door sealed behind him with a hiss. You sent a message. The general growled. James didn't move. Zurok stepped closer. Your eyes, they're not just for seeing, are they? James opened one eye. Calm, focused. I warned you, he said softly. We blinked to reload. Not just vision, memory, precision, command. Zurok's voice was sharp. You sent orders, didn't you? To Earth. James tilted his head. Who said it was to Earth? Zurok narrowed his eyes. Then to whom? James smiled. You wouldn't understand. The general pulled out a small device and activated it. A bright red light blinked in front of Riker's face. Let's test your theory, he said. Let's see how long you can last without blinking. Riker remained still. His face didn't flinch. 1 minute passed. Then 2. Zurok leaned in. Your eyes will dry. Pain will come. Vision will blur. Riker smiled again. I've stared down suns, General. This is nothing. At minute 4, the light began to pulse faster. Riker's pupils shrank to pinpoints. Sweat glistened on his forehead, but he didn't blink. Zurok frowned. Impossible. At 5 minutes, the door slid open without warning. One of the alien science officers rushed in, holding a data pad. General, you must see this. Zurok turned, irritated. I said no interruptions. The prison AI is malfunctioning, the officer blurted. Security cameras are blinking. Zurok blinked once in confusion. Cameras don't blink. They do now. The screen on the officer's pad showed multiple security feeds cutting out, then flashing on and off like eyelids. Every camera linked to subject number 209's cell is blinking in a mirrored pattern. It's spreading through the ship's network. Zurok turned slowly to look at Riker. The soldier still hadn't blinked. But somehow, the ship had. Back in the science lab, alarms were beginning to sound. Technicians stared at screens filled with pulsing code. The blinking pattern from Riker's eyes had infected the mainframe. Lights across the ship began flickering in strange intervals. What is this? One alien asked, fear in his voice. Is it sabotage? No, another whispered. It's a language, but not ours. The lead technician ran a translator program. Lines of blinking code converted into human-readable text. Only one sentence appeared. I am not alone. On Earth, in a secure military bunker deep beneath the Nevada desert, a technician sat bolt upright in his chair. His monitor began blinking rapidly off, on, in perfect rhythm. Sir, he shouted. We've got a signal from Viridian. Space, Commander Rivera stepped forward. Talk to me. It's Riker. He's alive. He's blinking us a message. What does it say? The technician's voice dropped to a whisper. It says, I'm inside. Eyes on the prize. Commander Rivera smiled grimly. Activate Operation Eyewash. The blinkers are go. Back on. The alien ship. Zurok faced Riker once more. The human's eyes were open again, calm, deadly. You've infected my systems. No, Riker said. I've awakened them. Awakened what? Our eyes see everything, General, even yours. Zurok took a step back. Unsure for the first time, the lights flickered overhead. The sound of the engines changed less steady now, like something moving beneath the surface. The ship had begun to blink. Zurok left the cell quickly, barking orders to lock it down. Guards scrambled. Scientists panicked. The blinking had spread into communication channels, camera feeds, even door controls. Every part of the ship now blinked. But it wasn't chaos. It was rhythm. It was a pulse. A countdown. In deep space, hidden behind a curtain of solar flares, a small human strike ship activated its stealth drive. Inside, Captain Aira checked the signal display. "Blink code received," she said calmly. "We're going in." She was blind, her eyes damaged in a past battle, but her senses were sharper than most. "Riker's alive," she whispered. "Let's go bring him home." Back aboard Zurok's vessel, in the dark silence of his private chamber, the general sat alone. His eyes felt heavy, dry, irritated. He realized he hadn't blinked in hours. And suddenly, he was afraid to. He didn't know what might happen if he closed his eyes. The alien vessel hung silently in the black void of space, like a dead eye watching nothing. Inside, panic grew with every passing minute. Lights pulsed with irregular rhythm. Doors no longer obeyed commands. Systems responded not in words, but in blinking codes. And at the center of it all, Corporal James Riker, still locked in his cell, still blinking, still dangerous. General Zurok stood in front of the master console. He was surrounded by high-level officers, technicians, and data specialists. Yet no one could explain what was happening. They all looked to the general, but even he had no answers now. "The pattern is spreading," one technician whispered. "The blinking code, it's moving from system to system." Another added, "It isn't random. The rhythm is changing slightly. Like it's adapting." Zurok's fists clenched. What is he doing? No one spoke. No one dared to. Then the lights dimmed. And for exactly 1.5 seconds, everything on the ship blinked. Lights, screens, doors, even the holographic stars outside the window flickered once, then returned. It was deliberate. Zurok stared at the dark screen. "What does it mean?" Behind him, one of the AI translators finally decoded a fragment of the blinking sequence. The message was short. 2 words. "Unlock me." Zurok turned away from the console and marched down the corridor. He didn't trust machines anymore. But there was one thing he did understand: control. He would confront the human again. And this time, he would go deeper. In the center of the ship, the prisoner's cell was silent. James Riker sat against the wall, motionless. His eyes were closed. For the first time in days. As the door opened, Riker opened his eyes slowly, timed, precise. Zurok entered alone. "You've infected my ship," he said. "You've infected my crew." Riker smiled faintly. "No infection, just awakening." "Awakening what?" Zurok growled. Riker leaned forward. "A locked memory, buried deep in your system." The general narrowed his eyes. "Explain." "You stole our technology long ago," Riker said. "You copied our drones, our implants, even our neural interfaces, but you never understood them." Zurok paused. "That's a lie, is it?" Riker replied. "Why do you think your systems blink? Why do your ships use pulse-based data?" "It came from us, from the original signal." Zurok stepped back. "You're saying we copied human design?" "No," Riker said. "You copied a mistake. You copied a dormant code. Something even we buried long ago." Zurok's mind raced. The blinking, the rhythm, the signal in Riker's eyes. It wasn't a virus. It was a key to something long locked away. Meanwhile, deep inside the alien mainframe, the blinking code moved silently. With every flicker of light, it opened doors. Old doors, hidden files long forgotten by the alien engineers. Encrypted logs appeared on screen. Some over 200 years old. One log read, Origin signal. Human broadcast 243B. Source unknown. Content, rhythmic. Ocular pulses. Recommendation, observe, but do not engage. Another, warning, signal contains neuroreactive patterns. Prolonged exposure causes hallucinations, awakening of suppressed instincts. And the last, lockdown order, bury all knowledge of blink. Signal, do not let it reach the front line. Zuruk stared at Riker, unsettled. What is this memory you speak of? Riker's voice was low. It's the memory of what you took from us. The knowledge of how sight is power. Of how blinking isn't just a reflex, it's a trigger. For what? Zuruk asked. For the eyes of war. Zuruk frowned. What are the eyes of war? Riker's eyes seemed to glow for a moment. A human project. Forgotten even by our own leaders. Soldiers trained to store data in their vision. Messages hidden in blink patterns. Combat codes that only another eye could read. Impossible. No, Riker said. You've already seen it. Zuruk took a step back. You're blinking. It's a weapon. No, Riker said. It's the match. You haven't even seen the fire yet. On the edge of the solar system, hidden behind a frozen asteroid field, the human strike ship crawled silently through space. Inside, Captain Aira closed her eyes and blinked twice. The room lit up with blinking lights, receivers, data banks, encrypted codes. Update? She asked. Her second-in-command replied, We've received 98% of Riker's transmission. He's triggering the locked protocol. Aira's jaw tightened. Then it's true. He's the last active eye of war. Aira nodded. Prepare to follow the blink trail. He's lighting a path for us. Back on the alien ship, Zuruk gave in to his curiosity. He summoned the science team. I want to unlock the file Riker mentioned. Find the blink core. Now. The scientists obeyed. Within hours, they found it, a buried module in the ship's original code. When they opened it, a hologram flickered into life. It was human. An old man in a military coat, his face scarred, his eyes intense. I don't know who you are, the hologram began, but if you're seeing this, you've found the eyes. Zuruk leaned forward. We designed this system to hide in plain sight. Our enemies couldn't read it. Our friends couldn't understand it. Only a trained human, a warrior with the eyes of war, could trigger this. The hologram blinked once, then smiled. And if he has, then you should be afraid. The feed cut off. Zuruk turned to Riker's cell monitor. The soldier was blinking again, this time faster, more deliberate. And with each blink, something in the ship responded. Zuruk shouted, Shut it down! Shut everything down! But it was too late. The blinking signal had reached the ship's core, and the memory was fully unlocked. Suddenly, the entire ship went dark. Silence. Then the emergency lights came on, blinking red, but not in warning. In rhythm. Like heartbeat or breath. A new message appeared on every screen. I remember now. Zuruk stood frozen. The ship had changed. It was no longer his. It belonged to the eye. To Riker. Inside his cell, Riker stood slowly. The door opened for him on its own. Guards stepped back, weapons shaking in their hands. They didn't know why, but they couldn't shoot. They couldn't move. Riker blinked once, and the lights above flickered in sync. The war had just changed. The battlefield was no longer outside. It was in the eyes, and James Riker had just opened them. The alien ship was no longer the same. The hum of machines sounded different, deeper, stronger, like the breathing of a living creature. Every light pulsed with rhythm, blinking in perfect time with Riker's eyes. General Zuruk stood in the command room, his face pale under the harsh lights. His mind raced but could find no answers. The ship's systems had been taken over, not by viruses, not by weapons, but by a simple human reflex, blinking. He looked at the monitor showing Riker's cell. The soldier stood calmly. His eyes scanned the room, blinking steadily. Each blink was a command, a signal, a trigger. "Unlock the eye," the ship's AI whispered. Almost like a warning, Zurok clenched his fists. This cannot be. But it was. The blinking was no longer just a signal, it was awakening something ancient, something powerful, far away. In the cold depths of space, Captain Aira and her crew prepared to jump through the wormhole near the asteroid belt. "Have we decoded the full message?" Aira asked. Her communications officer nodded. "We have the coordinates and a partial description of the eye system." Aira's lips tightened. "We're running out of time." Back on the alien ship, lights flickered faster now. The blinking was everywhere in the communication hubs, weapon systems, even the life support. Zurok's officers were frantic. "What do we do?" One asked. Zurok shook his head. "We listen." And then the blinking pattern changed. It slowed. A new message appeared on every screen. "I am awake." Riker closed his eyes. He blinked slowly. Inside his mind, memories flooded in ancient training, secret codes, the knowledge of the eyes of war. He was more than a soldier now. He was a weapon, a living, blinking weapon. The blinking wasn't just to reload his eyes. It was to reload his mind, his reflexes, his senses. He could see in ways the aliens never imagined. He opened his eyes, and with a single blink, the ship's weapons powered up, doors locked and unlocked. At his command, the entire ship responded to him. The eye had awakened. In the control room, Zurok's voice was trembling. "We have lost control." Riker's blinking echoed through the ship's speakers. "General," the soldier said calmly, "I blinked to reload my eyes, but also to reload your understanding." Zurok glared. "What do you want?" "To survive, to teach you, to show you the power in the blink." Outside the ship, Captain Aira's fleet arrived. She stared at the blinking lights on the alien vessel. "Prepare for docking," she ordered. Inside the ship, Riker's eyes scanned the approaching humans. He blinked once, slowly. The ship's defenses lowered. He smiled. The eye was ready. The alien ship floated quietly, its blinking lights now steady, like a heartbeat in the darkness of space. Inside, Corporal James Riker sat calmly in the command chamber. His eyes, sharp and alert, scanned every screen. The blinking code pulsed. In perfect rhythm, a hidden language only he truly understood. General Zurok stood beside him, tense but curious. The alien soldiers watched quietly, unsure whether Riker was friend or threat. "Explain yourself," Zurok demanded. "What is this blinking signal you control? How does it hold power over my ship?" Riker smiled slightly. "It's not just a signal, it's a code. An ancient human method of communication hidden inside a simple act, blinking." Zurok frowned. "Blinking? A reflex we all have. How can that be a weapon?" "The same way a heartbeat can be a drum of war," Riker replied. "Our ancestors learned to use blinking as a way to store and send information, to reload more than just eyes, to reload thoughts, commands, even memories." Zurok's eyes narrowed. "You say your blinking carries messages?" "Yes," Riker said. "Hidden patterns in the blink control neural pathways. It's how humans send secret orders during battle without speaking. Invisible signals to each other's minds." The alien officers exchanged uneasy glances. Such a simple gesture, holding such power. Suddenly, the ship's communication consoles flickered. A new message appeared on every screen. "The signal is hidden. The signal is alive." Zurok's voice dropped. "What does it mean?" Riker's eyes gleamed. "It means the blinking code isn't just on this ship. It's everywhere. Hidden in your systems, your weapons, even your memories." Zurok's heart pounded. "You mean we've been unknowingly using your code all along?" Riker nodded. "Your species took from ours without knowing. But you didn't unlock the full power. Zurok thought for a moment. Then, quietly he asked, "How do we unlock it?" Riker blinked twice. The lights on the ship pulsed in response. "You have to see blinking as more than a reflex," he said. "You have to understand it as a language, a weapon." Zurok swallowed hard. "Then teach me," he said. Riker smiled. "That's why I'm here." Outside the ship, Captain Aira watched the blinking signals with hope. "We're close." She told her crew, "The hidden signal is awakening. Soon we will understand its power." Back inside the alien vessel, humans and aliens alike prepared to learn the truth about the power of blinking. And the war was no longer just fought with guns and ships. It was fought with eyes, with signals, with the silent, deadly blink. The alien ship now hummed with a new energy, quiet, steady, like a calm before a storm. Inside, General Zurok sat with Riker and the science officers in the briefing room. The walls flickered softly with blinking patterns, slow, then fast, then slow. Again, like a secret heartbeat. "We have begun decoding the blinking signal," one scientist said. "It is a complex code built on timing and rhythm." Riker nodded. "That's right. Each blink carries information. It's like Morse code, but faster and more subtle." Zurok rubbed his temples. "Your people use blinking as a secret weapon." "Yes," Riker said. "We train special soldiers, the eyes of war. They use blinking to send commands silently, control machines, and even confuse enemies." Zurok's face tightened. "Your blinking can control ships?" Riker's eyes gleamed. "Not just control ships. It can unlock hidden programs, open locked data, and turn weapons on or off." The scientists exchanged worried glances. "This means your blinking signal is not just a reflex," one said. "It is a key to technology we barely understand." Zurok stood up. "We must learn to control this power before it controls us." Riker looked at him steadily. "It is not easy. The blinking code is tied to the mind. It can be dangerous if used without care." Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. Blinking pattern changed. It was faster now, more urgent. A message appeared on the main screen. "Warning. Unauthorized access detected." Zurok's hand moved to his weapon. "Who is trying to break in?" Riker blinked 3 times, a code for incoming. Outside, small ships approached fast. "Human fighters." Captain Aira's voice came through the comms. "Riker, we are here, ready to support." Zurok's eyes narrowed. "Humans." "They came faster than we expected." Riker stood and prepared. "It's time," he said, "to show them the power of the blinking code." Back in the control room, the blinking lights grew faster. The ship responded to Riker's command. Doors opened. Weapons armed, shields rose. Zurok hesitated but followed orders. "We fight with blinking." "Not just guns," Riker said, and with a steady blink, the war began. The alien ship thrummed with energy as human fighters closed in. The blinking lights flashed rapidly like the heartbeat of a warrior ready for battle. Inside the command room, General Zurok and Corporal James Riker prepared for the fight. The alien soldiers stood tense, their weapons ready but uncertain about the new kind of warfare they faced. Riker's eyes scanned the control panels. Each blink sent commands rippling through the ship, doors locking, shields rising, weapons powering up. "The enemy is coming," Riker said quietly. "But this battle won't be fought with just fire and steel." Zurok nodded, watching the blinking patterns on the screens. "It's a war of signals of control." Outside, Captain Aira's fleet approached swiftly. The human fighters formed tight formations, their ships blinking lights and rhythm silent codes between pilots. "Ready for engagement," Aira said through the comlink. Riker blinked twice, sending a command. The ship's weapons shifted focus, targeting specific enemy ships. The battle began. Bright beams cut through space, flashing and blinking in rapid bursts. But the real fight was deeper, inside the machines, in the code, in the blinking patterns. That controlled everything. Zuruk watched as the blinking commands hacked enemy systems. Shields dropped, weapons shut down, and ships drifted powerless. Your blinking code. Zuruk admitted. It's more than a signal. It's a weapon of war. Riker smiled faintly. It is the oldest weapon we have, silent, invisible, deadly. As the battle raged, the blinking lights on Riker's ship pulsed faster. Syncing with his eyes, he blinked again, slow, deliberate blink. The ship's core responded. Enemy ships began to malfunction, their systems going dark one by one. Captain. Era's voice came over the comms, excited. We're winning. Your blinking is the key. Riker's eyes shone with quiet pride. This is only the beginning. The war had changed. It was no longer fought only with guns. It was fought with blinks. The battle was over. The alien ship floated. Silently, its blinking lights now calm and steady like a slow heartbeat. Inside, General Zuruk stood beside Corporal James Riker. Both looked tired but alert. Zuruk spoke quietly. Your blinking code, it changed everything, Riker nodded. Blinking is more than just a reflex. It's a weapon, a language, a key. Zuruk frowned. You said this code could be dangerous. Yes, Riker said. If used wrong, it can destroy mines, ships, even entire fleets. The alien officers watched closely, understanding now the power hidden in something so simple. Suddenly, the ship's lights blinked faster. Riker's eyes followed the pattern. It's the final. Command, he said. The last blink, Zuruk asked. What happens after that? Riker blinked slowly, then smiled. We win. Outside, Captain Era's fleet prepared to board the alien ship. The blinking signals from Riker's ship guided them safely through hidden traps and defenses. Inside the ship's core, Riker activated the final sequence of blink. The ship's systems aligned perfectly. Weapons powered down, shields dropped. Doors opened. Zuruk looked amazed. You controlled everything with blinking? Riker nodded. It's the ultimate control. The humans and aliens met in the command room. For the first time there was no fear, only respect. Era shook Zuruk's hand. Your ship is ours now, she said. Zuruk nodded slowly. And your blinking code saved us all, Riker smiled. Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful. He blinked once more. A signal echoed through the ship, a promise of peace and new beginnings. The blinking stopped. The eyes of war had closed, but the story of blinking, silent weapon, would never be forgotten. End of story.